Do you hear that? Silence. The dogs barking, no chickens, nothing. Wow. I'm a joke. I'm sorry? What? Oh, you like my top? Thank you. I made it myself. No, like I'm serious. I made it myself. I don't drink it. That'll take a long while to explain, but you know what? I got you. I got you. Hi guys. In all seriousness, I saw this crochet tube top off the show. I don't know. I just saw it on the internet while I was looking for inspiration to crochet something, and I saw it and I was like, I can do that. And I did it. And I'm proud to say I did it without any pattern or anything. Like, I just looked at the picture and I deduced the pattern from there. But I got you. If you're interested in learning how to make this top, then keep watching. Also, if you're a beginner crocheter, this is pretty easy, although it looks a little complicated, but it has very easy stitches. But I'm going to break everything down in the following video. So yes, as I said, if you want to see how I made this, okay, keep watching. Keep watching. Don't click out yet. Just keep watching. Okay, let's go. Okay, so first up, you're going to need some crochet thread. For anyone interested, these are the details of the type and size I'll be using. Also going to need some scissors and preferably 2 different sizes of crochet hooks. Okay guys, now it's time to get started. You want to chain a multiple of 5. Now in my case, I chained 85 based on my size. And when you measure this, you want it to go all the way across your back, underneath your arms, and it should hit you just near your left and right nipple on both sides. You want to stretch it as well to get there, because you want this piece to be especially snug. Okay, when you're done with the last stitch, you're going to hold on to it with your thumb. So in my case, my 85th stitch, I'm going to crochet 2 more, or chain 2 more, and then place 1 double crochet into the stitch that I'm holding on. So my 85th stitch. So in all these previous little stitches, you're going to place 1 double crochet in each of them. Towards the end of the row, as you finish your last double crochet, you're going to chain 2 and turn over your work. Now these 2 chains will count as 1 double crochet, or your first double crochet for this next row. So you're going to continue double crocheting all the way down the line, starting in the second hole from the hook. Just a bonus tip, do not miss out the last double crochet. I know it's kind of hard to see and sometimes we kind of miss it, but it will count towards your stitches and your just your work being nice and straight and uniform. So continue this pattern for 10 rows in total, The pattern being placing 1 double crochet in each double crochet of the previous row, chaining 2 at the end, turning over your work and starting in the second hole. That's about it. Another tip is to continue measuring as you crochet. So this little bandeau top, it should hit you from the top of your boob to the bottom of your boob, and it should only reach to about your nipples in length. Okay, so now we're on to the next part. We're going to change our hook first of all. So I went from a 3.5mm to a 3mm, I believe. You're going to chain 3. Now you want a smaller hook just because you want the bottom piece to be a bit smaller. So, you know, as your waist goes in, it will be a more snug fit. So you're going to chain 3, turn your work over. Then you're going to skip in the previous row, you're going to skip 2 double crochets. And then you're going to place 1 double crochet into the 3rd double crochet from the hook. After you've done that, you're going to chain 2, skip the next 2 double crochets, and then place 1 double crochet into the 3rd double crochet from the hook. So remember when I mentioned about chaining the number of chains to be a multiple of 5? This is why. If you're a perfectionist, I guess, my chains numbered 85, so my grid was able to land with my last stitch being a double crochet in the last stitch exactly. If you're maybe 1 stitch short or 1 stitch more, you might end up with an extra stitch or not enough stitches. So that's just to make sure you end up with 1 double crochet on the end, and you'll see exactly how it looks. And here is what I meant. I ended up with 1 double crochet just on the end, which was perfect. So as I outlined, chain 3 at the end. You're going to place 1 double crochet on top of the previous double crochet in the row. So you're just going to create the same boxes, like one on top of the other. You'll see exactly how. Now towards the ending of the second row, you will find that you end up with a box. So remember those 3 that you chained at the beginning? You're going to place the last double crochet of that row into the middle or the second stitch of that box. This is what it should be looking like so far. Nous fait beaucoup, mais So you should have 7 rows in total of the grid, and as you notice here, I changed my hook back to the 3.5 for the last row of the grid. You don't necessarily need to do this step. I just thought it would, make it flare out a bit at the bottom, so it would go from small to bigger. Kind of did, kind of didn't. You don't need to do this. You can continue with the same hook, but just thought I'd throw that in there. So here I'm going to be showing you what it looks like with the box at the end and inserting your last double crochet, because I realized I didn't show that in the last couple rows. So here it is. You can observe it carefully and see where exactly to place your last double crochet. Okay, so don't trim off your crochet thread. We're going to do the middle piece one time. We're going to chain 2 and then place 2 double crochets in that first box. And we're going to continue that pattern for the entire bottom half of the top or the grid part. So place 2 double crochets in each of the little boxes. After you've done with the grid portion, now we're going up to the top half and you're going to place 1 double crochet in each row, well, column, I guess, now that it's turned like this. So 1 double crochet in each column. Now placing 1 double crochet in each column will help like scrunch the columns together and give that nice round shape or neckline, if you will. You'll see that a little later. So at the end of that last column, you're going to chain 2, turn your work around, and then place 1 double crochet in each double crochet of the previous row. And you're going to repeat that for 1 more row, so that's going to be 3 rows in total. I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited. Okay, so next we're going to do that same grid kind of pattern again, so we can lace our tie through it and tie the top in the front. So grid pattern, if you forgot, it's chain 3, skip the next 2 double crochets, and then place 1 double crochet in the 3rd double crochet from the hook, and you continue that all the way down. And we are done. It looks good. It looks good. So what we're going to do now is tie off and cut the end, and then tuck in the end so it doesn't unravel or come untied or anything. Okay, that's nice and hidden. So what we're going to do now is attach a piece on the next side and repeat those same steps for the middle piece on this side. So 3 rows of the double crochets, and then the last row will be like a little grid. So when you're done on this side, do not trim off your crochet thread. We're going to continue because we're ending towards the bottom end of the grid, so we're just going to continue the border with that same crochet thread, so do not trim it. Okay. Alright, so for the bottom border we're going to do like a fan kind of seashell shape. I don't know the exact name for it, but we're going to place 4 double crochets into that first grid. For the next part or the next column, remember those were the columns of the double crochets. Well, they were rows, but now that we've turned our work, they become columns. So we're going to place 1 slip stitch in the next column. Then in the next column we're going to place 6 double crochets in that one column, 6 double crochets, and this will give you your complete fan shape. Then the next column, which is the last column I believe, we'll place a slip stitch. Then we just repeat the same pattern. So in the next grid, or the next little box, we place 6 double crochets into one box. Then the next box would be a slip stitch, and then so on and so forth, repeating the same pattern all the way down to the end of the top. So you should have a pattern of 6 double crochets, slip stitch, 6 double crochets, slip stitch, until you reach the very end. In the last box, you're going to place just 4 double crochets because you don't want to do a full fan. Alright, so if you're happy with that, then you don't need to continue, but I wanted to follow the picture, so I'm going to do the sleeves. So for the sleeves, you're going to chain 40, keeping your thumb on the last stitch, so the 40th stitch, and you're going to chain 2, placing the 1 double crochet into the stitch that you're holding on to. Now of course, if you have bigger arms than me, then you will end up doing more stitches. It doesn't necessarily matter what multiple or what number of stitches you have, because it's going to be kind of hidden at the end for the sleeves. So for the sleeves, they're kind of going to be a mini version of the top. So you're going to have 3 rows of double crochets, 2 rows of the grid pattern, and then 1 row obviously of the bottom border. Remember to start with 4 double crochets in the bottom border when you're just starting off. Start and end with, but the rest of them 6 double crochets in total. So here I'm using a cross stitch needle, I believe that's the name, to just stitch both ends of the sleeve together. You could also do this with a crochet hook, but it's just way more convenient with a needle like this. So you're just going to stitch them together and then leave a nice long tail or long piece of crochet thread so you can attach it to your top. You may need to try the top on to see where exactly you want your sleeves to fit, but for me I just kind of laid it flat and eyeballed it. But in attaching the second sleeve, I counted how many stitches from the middle that I attached the first sleeve to, just so it could be even and, you know, one wasn't closer than the other. Now I didn't show this, but you're going to want to do a front tie piece. So the little lace up piece in the front where you can tighten or loosen. You're just going to chain whatever length you want, however long you want it. I can't remember, I think mine was over 100 or something. Yeah, then just tighten it and cut it and just weave it through the front of your top. Okay guys, so I hope my explaining and everything was, you could understand what I was saying anyways. But if you do this and it comes out good, please send me a picture or like post a picture on Instagram and tag me. I really want to see your creations. My only thing about this particular top, if I was doing it again, personally I would like it to be a bit longer, like it's a bit too short. I'd like it a bit longer. Just my personal preference, but you could make it your own. If you want it to be a bit longer, like I said, my personal preference, then just add more rows, you know. And yes, only when some of my nails are polished. I felt you judging me. For those that are wondering, it's very secure, it doesn't slip down. Like, I exhaled, so you know, my lungs. Still, it's very secure. So yeah, that's just in case you're wondering. I'll see you guys in the next video. This was really fun to make. I can't promise I'll have more videos like this because I'm out of crochet thread. If you have any questions or issues with trying to make this, let me know. I'll try my best to help you out. Okay, bye.